I just want to start out by saying this is not an easy job, and it takes a different type of person to do this much work to a truck. Welcome back, everybody. Today's video, we're going to be talking about everything I did to get this Duramax right. I'm going to break down a list of what I did and where I got it from. Stay tuned to see the whole list and enjoy the video. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into the list. First, we had to buy the truck. We got it from Bidmaster, and Bidmaster is great because you don't necessarily have to have a dealer's license to buy vehicles at auctions through Copar and different sites. There is fees though. Don't let those scare you. They can get pretty pricey from time to time, but the delivery fee is something that we pay because you kind of have to pay it, in my opinion, because we don't really have time to go get the vehicles, so it's easier just to have somebody bring them to us. And price breakdown wise, by the time you go get the truck yourself and come back, it's going to be the same. You may save $100. That's pretty much it. But off the bat, before we got the truck at the auction, we actually paid an inspector to go look at the truck and tell us more about it. He was a super great guy. He FaceTimed me while he did the walk around of the truck, and he actually found in the mountain of paperwork that was in the truck the previous owner's name. And through some Facebook stalking and the business logo on the side of the truck, I got in contact with the previous owner. I found out that the truck actually had been repoed because he had used it for his concrete business for a while. And one day the truck just died and it didn't never start back. He told me they thought it was an ECM issue after they had placed every sensor into the hood. Mainly this truck had parts thrown at it continuously and nothing was fixing the problem. And so we was told ECM right off the bat. So we thought, okay, we'll send it off. We found an ECM repair place out of New York City, I believe. I may be wrong on that. But we sent it off. It took about 2 weeks to get it back after we sent it out. We threw that straight back in the truck as soon as we could. At that point, I had gutted the entire interior by the time we got the ECM back. So the 2 week gap, a lot happened. And when I gutted the interior, it was filthy. I mean, you can see here, the truck is just filthy. So we hopped on Facebook Marketplace, and my dad was a super help throughout this whole process. And we found a place in Nashville, I do believe, Nashville, Tennessee. And they was selling pretty much the entire, pretty much a cab is what they was selling. And we got everything out of it that we wanted. And after we got that, they showed us around the garage. It was a super cool body shop. They had Lamborghinis they was working on, everything. We stopped also to grab, on our way to Nashville, a console and a set of front seats, because the interior in the truck we was going to get in Nashville, it was cloth. But the wiring harness, the carpet, everything, an extra headliner too, all that stuff was just, we had to go get that. Trim pieces, etc. The front seats we got on the way, there was two-tone. Those are the ones I actually put in the truck. They're beautiful. They sit super good and they're in pretty good shape. The console that we picked up, it was in good shape too. About 2 or 3 days after we had went on the Facebook Marketplace run, I washed the cab out. I did a super deep clean on that truck. We got some very, very sad news after we plugged the ECM in and threw some batteries in it. It cranked endlessly. And unfortunately, I was worried off the bat it could be the CP4. But I pulled the fuel metering valve, or I believe that's what most people call it, fuel metering valve, or the fuel regulator. And there was metal shavings. It was disappointing to say the least. So we ended up getting the CP4 kit from Injectors Direct. We got the remanufactured kit. They say that one is supposed to be better than the original CP4 that they put in the trucks from the factory. And After I got the long process of putting the CP4 in, I had to get lift pump filters. We got those at a local Kid Tire. I got wicks because they say those are the best. That's what I run on my truck, on its lift pump. But we wasn't building pressure to the rail, so we grabbed an OEM fuel filter housing, and we got that from our local AutoZone. So no big deal on that. The truck still would not start, but we put a shot of ether in it and it would run for just a second and then it would just die off. Unfortunately, found out later on, we tracked it down and it ended up being wires was messed up going to the oil pressure sensor and the camshaft sensor. So we tapped those plugs and fixed everything, re-loomed the harness, fired right up. It was super big. I was glad for all that work. It finally, I got to hear it run and it sounded very good. It sounded really healthy. When you buy a CP4 failure kit, or in our case, they require a core fee and the injector fee, I'm pretty sure. When we sent the old CP4 back that was messed up and the old injectors, they was in terrible shape. We actually had 2 that was damaged in the way back. So that right there, that did suck, but you live and you learn. Probably should have packed them a little bit better. After the truck was running, I decided that I really wanted to take the interior to the next level. And since it was gutted, the headliner that I pulled out of it, instead of using the new one that we got from the Facebook Marketplace find, I decided I was going to use the old one. So I stripped it completely down, just to the bare fiberglass. And I put my 1,000 dots on it, just as they do with the Starlight kits. T-pins from Walmart. I got my suede from Amazon. Those things right there, it was a super fun process to do with this truck. And by the time I got done, it looked so beautiful. Even with just after we had that headliner wrapped with the suede, it just looked phenomenal without the lights. And when we threw the Starlights in there, I could see the vision of the truck coming together, and it was beautiful. I ended up waiting till I got the headliner back in the truck before I started putting the interior back in. I was able to clean the back seat that had the two-tone interior with it, and it cleaned up very nice. There was a few little small places on it, but nothing bad at all. It still set fine. After I got those in there, I started putting some of the interior pieces in that I could, like the seat belts, kick panels, just tidying some different things up. I put all the pieces for your visors, driver's side, passenger side visors. I put all those in. I threw the seats in from the Facebook Marketplace find, and it was looking like a truck. I mean, just so clean, so clean. And I knew that going into it, I was going to have to redo the tint because it was very purple and it just looks terrible. So I ordered some tint, threw that on there myself, and the 15% looked great. I was going to go with 5, but I was afraid whoever got it wouldn't like the 5. So 15 and 5, they're pretty close, but at night you can really see the difference. The last thing we did with the interior is I popped all the trim panels in, and we was actually going to use the radio from the Marketplace find in Nashville, but it ended up being VIN locked to that truck, which was super unfortunate. And we had to get a radio from Walmart, not too bad at all, and threw it right in. Worked good, sounded good. And we grabbed some speed nuts from AutoZone or Advanced to get the kick panels in place. And the last few things that came together was the coolant, because we didn't really drive the truck very far. I just moved around the driveway, so we hadn't put coolant in it, and it was very cold where I'm at, so I had to get coolant instead of water. And a part of the project I enjoyed too was the tail lights and third brake lights, partially. The first third brake light that I ordered came from Amazon, and this is before I got the headlights and brake lights from Facebook Marketplace. And I was screwing it in, and it wasn't fitting right at all. And I thought, well, maybe I just need to pull it up just a little bit. And as I was tightening, it literally cracked the brake light. So that one was junk, wasn't gonna work. And I hopped on Facebook Marketplace and I got to looking after that, and I found a set of OEM headlights and brand new black brake lights. And after I seen those, I fell in love, because I knew on the white truck the black and white would just go great together. I threw the tinted brake lights in and they looked beautiful, beautiful. And I planned on putting the headlights in. I don't have any clips of this, but sad to say, when they put in the aftermarket headlights, they took the OEM harness from the connector in the headlights out, so I was not buying that. I just left the aftermarket ones in. That was fine with me. The black headlights, black taillights, it goes together. And the third brake light I got, it come from TikTok. I get a lot of stuff off TikTok. You can get some good stuff cheap on there, and it looked good too. My only problem with it is, where it was aftermarket, I did have to put a little silicone on it to make sure it sealed good. But besides that, I was super happy with the way the taillights come out. And last but not least, you gotta do it and you gotta have it. Tax and insurance. You gotta have those, especially if somebody wants to test drive it, because you can't have them going out here and junking your vehicle. And you gotta pay taxes. Two things you gotta do: die and pay taxes. If not, Uncle Sam's gonna get you. But if you guys have enjoyed this breakdown of everything I've done to the Duramax, hit the like button, subscribe, post notifications, and hopefully more auction trucks to come. See you guys in the next one.